And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. It's your good pal Jeremy Dog Danley live from Las Vegas, where coming up here in just under a month, September 22nd through the 28th, the World Series of Comedy will be happening. It's the main event. It takes place at the LA Comedy Club at the Strat. I'm gearing up for that. And I'm about to call Double T to go live on the air with him, 96.7 FM out of Rockford, Illinois. I'll be starting in just a minute, so stick around. Comment below where you're watching from, wherever you are in this great country of ours. Just comment that below where you live, and I will comment back at some point soon when the Pub and Grub Comedy Tour will be coming to a city or town near you. And right now I'm about to crack into another segment of Bar Comedy USA News with Double T, and today we're going to talk about why stand-up comedy and being a professional comedian is a lot like poker and being a professional poker player. If you've got any ideas on that, you can comment those as well, and I might respond to those live on the air. Unless this is later on during the replay, in which case I'll just have to write something witty back to you as a reply, or hit you up with a GIF. Anyway, comment below why you think comedy is like poker. And also, let me know where you're watching from so I can let you know when we'll be doing shows near you. All right, stick around. I'll be right back. Double T is going to be joining me here in just a minute. Hang tight, everybody. We're about to go live with Double T, 96.7 FM, The Eagle in Rockford, Illinois. Hang on, everyone. I'm ready when you are, my friend.
Here we go. Rockford Tone for Classic Rock, 96.7 The Eagle. Double T Morning, sponsored by Tommy's Express Car Wash in Lowe's Park and Forest Hills and East Riverside. It is time for Bar Comedy USA News with comedian Dog. Buddy, what is happening today?
Well, good morning, Double T. I am sipping on my coffee. I'm gearing up for the day. I am super stoked for the next month. Because
you're busy. You got the World Series of Comedy, right?
We've got the World Series of Comedy happening here in Las Vegas, the LA Comedy Club, located inside the Strat. It takes place September 22nd through the 28th. It's nonstop. It goes all day long. It's basically like a job fair for comedians. Plus, there are about 18 shows that will take place over the course of that entire week, and I'm involved in quite a bit of it. Something that I wanted to bring to your attention is that the World Series of Comedy, it's very similar to the World Series of Poker in that we've been doing these satellites all over the country, and then we have the main event in Las Vegas.
Ooh, very, very cool. So what does it take to get to the Vegas competition?
So you have to go through a pretty hardcore process of scrutiny. Just like anything in show business, you've got to submit your materials. You've got to show up and do some of the events throughout the year, the satellites that I just spoke of, and then we bring in 100 or so, the top 100 of all of them, to participate in this. But Double T, what I got to thinking about is how much stand-up comedy is exactly like being a professional poker player. You know, people always think of stand-up comedians as these wild, unpredictable creatures. We just roll out of bed, crack a few jokes, and that's it. But the truth is, you got to know how to play the game. You got to know when to hold them. You got to know when to fold them. And you got to know when to bluff your way through a set that's bombing harder than a third marriage.
So what do you think is more difficult, winning the World Series of Comedy or winning the World Series of Poker?
That's a really good question. You know, for me, it would be winning the World Series of Poker. You know, now keep in mind, I have not competed in either.
Nice, isn't it?
Yeah. But I would say this, you know, both professions require a pretty damn good poker face. When you're on stage and a joke lands like a dead fish, or sometimes when you're on the radio with your favorite morning host, you can't let anybody see you sweat. Just like at the poker table, you got to keep your cool. You got to act like everything's going according to plan and hope that the next card, or in our case, the next punchline, turns the whole thing around.
And it could happen. I've seen it happen. I've seen comedians just bombing and then just land one, and that's all it takes. All you need is one card in the World Series of Poker, and you could be moving on to the next round. Absolutely.
You know, both stand-up comedians and poker players have to be masters of psychological warfare.
I love it.
You got to read the room. You got to size up your opponents, whether that's a table full of card sharks or a crowd full of drunk hecklers. You got to adjust your strategy on the fly. If the audience isn't biting on your clean material, it's time to double down on the dirty stuff.
At least the poker players can hide their eyes if they start crying.
Well, hey, that is a real good point. You know, being a comedian, some nights you're all in and you're crushing it, and other nights you're just bluffing your way through a set, hoping nobody sees that you've got tears rolling out of your eyes.
It is Bar Comedy USA News with comedian Jared Aug. Tell everybody about the Pub and Grub Comedy.
Well, the Pub and Grub Comedy Tour, it's a little bit of a lower stakes game, so to speak. A lot more fun, where you can catch, at any given night, two of the best headliners traveling the country that nobody's ever heard of. But they're out there killing it night in and night out with their polished sets. And you can go to barcomictix.com to check out that schedule. We bring live stand-up comedy to the small town America, the nooks and crannies of the country. And the next time you see one of those shows, the next time you see a stand-up comedian on stage, just remember, they're playing a high-stakes game. The only difference is instead of cards, you're dealing with jokes. And just like in poker, sometimes you got to know when to walk away, preferably before the audience starts throwing things.
It's Rockford's Home for Classic Rock 96.7 The Eagle.
There we go.
I liked your little similarities and stuff. That was good stuff.
Yeah, I think I'm going to put together, maybe like a top 5 or something like that for next week.
Okay.
They keep branching off this. There's a lot more material here to explore.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's good stuff.
All right, man.
Have a good one, man.
You too, my friend. We'll talk to you next week.